guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I am taking part in Luce with Love's Tiny Shell Challenge. This is the second shell challenge I've done. I think the first one I did was before I started YouTube, and it was the Simsy shell, one of the many Simsy shell challenges. And that was really different from this one because it was a much bigger build. Whereas I don't really build that many tiny houses. You'll see from the last couple of speed builds I've posted, they've been quite big. I actually really enjoy doing smaller houses. I just find it a bit more difficult. So thought I'd give this a try. If you don't already follow Luce, you absolutely should. She's Luce with Love on YouTube, and on Twitter you'll be able to find her. I'll leave her links down below. She's so lovely. She's so friendly. She's been really welcoming and kind to me since I've joined the YouTube and Twitter community, so I have to say a big thank you to her for that. And yeah, this just looked like such a fun shape and such a fun shell challenge to try, so I figured why not give it a go. You can see here I'm also using the tool mod quite a lot in this build. This was inspired by Kate from Kate Emerald, her most recent build where she did like a glass walkway in a mansion, and I really like the idea of using these island living glass floor pieces to make kind of like a glass enclosure. I end up changing it a little bit. You'll see towards the end I end up making the top kind of like an open garden, but I kind of like the idea of rotating things and just trying to use things a little bit differently. I'm trying to branch out a little bit still, so I'm really hoping that you'll be able to see kind of over the course of the next few videos that I put out, I hope you'll be able to see a bit of a progression in my builds. As I said in a previous video, I have been building for a long time. I've been playing The Sims for a long time, but I'm definitely more of a kind of safe builder, so I'm really trying to push myself, and I hope you'll be able to see that in builds going forward, that I'm challenging myself a little bit more, shall we say. So yeah, this was really fun to do, and I think the benefit of doing a shell challenge is that it lets you kind of branch out a little bit. So because the shell's already made, you can just dive straight into the decorating, the landscaping, whereas normally I would spend a lot of time trying to figure out the layout of the house itself. So that's really fun, that kind of the bones of the build are already there for you, and it's really up to you to make it your own. And I also love to see what other people do with the shell, so I'll either look for YouTube videos or look on the gallery under the hashtag and see what everyone else has posted, because it's crazy to me how, you know, a group of people who you would think, I guess, are quite similar, we all like The Sims, we all like to build, can take something like a shell and make it into something completely different. And I know in shell challenges I've seen in the past, you know, someone builds a family home, someone builds a castle, someone makes an alien spaceship, someone makes like a shipwreck, like all out of the same shell. And I just love to see how creative people are. I think it's so interesting, and I think it's just such a cool example of the different things you can do, and kind of the fact that I guess the possibilities for building are really endless in The Sims, which is, I guess, a reason that we all enjoy it so much. So yeah, this was really fun for me. I really enjoyed it, and I went for quite a modern vibe inside, I would say. I actually just purchased Outdoor Retreat and Jungle Adventure when they were on sale on Origin the other day. So this whole kitchen is Jungle Adventure, and it wasn't really what I was expecting the build mode items to look like, because they're not particularly jungly, I suppose, for lack of a better word. They're like super modern, which I wasn't really expecting, but I love these counters. I think I'm going to use these in every kitchen, and I think the stove is Jungle Adventure as well. Like I think every kitchen I build is going to be a Jungle Adventure kitchen now, because the stuff just looks so good. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I love the kind of dark wood. So I went for a very like white walls, white floor, but the furniture's all quite dark, so it's very modern and minimalistic. But I think because it's a small space, I didn't want it to be too much, so I tried to keep the colours fairly minimal, and there's definitely clutter items about because I quite like to make lots look lived in. I'm not like a super cluttered builder. I do like them to look like quite clean, but I definitely like to decorate my builds. So I think I then wanted to keep the colour scheme quite minimal because it's a small space. I feel like it could easily look really messy. So to talk about the build a little bit, you can see here I've put a desk in that little like alcove space there, and then I'm putting the TV on the opposite wall. I actually end up moving the desk upstairs because I realised later on that I actually don't have a sink in the kitchen, which is a small problem. So I end up moving the sink into where the bar stools are just now, and I just make those normal counters, and I put a dining table in. So because I had to kind of move the kitchen around, I ended up realising that I had space upstairs for the desk. So just to make the space work, that's what I did. Now you will also see, very excitingly in this build, I filmed this last night, and I had updated to the newest patch, so I now have ladders. So I think I used 3 ladders in total in this very small build, which is maybe a bit over the top, but I was so excited to use them. And I didn't realise, I kind of hadn't really pictured a ladder in this kind of build. I was definitely thinking more for like island builds and tree houses and fun stuff like that, and not just in a normal home, but actually they look awesome. They don't take up any space. They give you so much more room to kind of maximize the space, and they look really good. They're a lot more modern looking than I thought. I thought they were going to be more kind of like outdoor looking, or like, I don't really know, like wooden ladders maybe? I don't know, they just look more modern than I thought. So they kind of go in a lot more builds, which is really good. So yeah, I'm like, the new patch is one of the best ones I think since like the big ones, so like pools and toddlers came out. I think this is such a good patch, and from reading things that you guys have been saying on Twitter, it seems to be really popular. People seem to be really pleased with the content of it, and having like the free placement of windows and doors is amazing. I actually don't know how I left it in, but I did spend quite a lot of time just dragging the front door around from side to side because it was so much fun. Something that has really frustrated me the whole time I've been playing Sims 4 and building is the amount of times that I have built something and say it's been like 4 tiles wide and then the door doesn't centre. Or the other way around, it built it 3 tiles wide and I want to use a double, like a 2 tile door and it doesn't centre. So I then have had to like, there have been multiple occasions where I have then redone the whole layout of the house just to make the door fit, which is so stupid. And I get that those things might not that easy, but I know I've seen other people talking about it, that when you can alt place almost everything, not being able to place the windows and doors just seems silly. So the fact that we can do that now is just game changing, and it seems so silly, but like you can move doors, but as I say, it means that you're not in a position where you get a layout you really like and you get the shell that you really like and then you have to suddenly extend it or make it smaller just to get the door to look right. I think that's really kind of backwards. So this is such a good update between the ladders and that, and the new build. I literally just came on and then did the shell challenge because I was so excited to do this challenge. So I actually haven't done that much gameplay. So I haven't had any firefighters visit me yet. I haven't had any repo men, and I haven't actually looked at the new builds or anything yet. So I definitely need to do some gameplay and figure that out. I did enjoy watching Luce's video today. I think it was actually her yesterday's video about the patch and about the new updates, and she spent 20 plus minutes trying to set her house on fire. And I actually tweeted her about it afterwards because I thought it was so funny that she was like, come on, just set yourself on fire already. So I think a lot of the content I've seen on YouTube today and yesterday has been just people purposely trying to set their Sims on fire to get the firefighters to come. So that's really good to know that that's what we're like as a community, is that we're just trying to set our Sims on fire. But it was funny. So again, I would run another video of hers that I would recommend. I mean, they're all good, but that was really funny. That made me laugh. But yeah, and so you can see here, I really went for, on looking back, I potentially should have built this in Oasis Springs. I didn't say actually. This is in Willow Creek on the little 20 by 15 lot in the neighbourhood that's kind of in the centre of the map. And it's because I just figured because it's a tiny shell, I didn't want to have a huge amount of land around it. But I went for quite a lush landscaping. Like lots of my favourite plants to use in The Sims are definitely like the agave plants, the cacti, the palm trees, like all the kind of like more tropical, like lush plants. So you'll see that I've used them a lot in this build. And so on reflection, potentially this would have made more sense in Oasis Springs just because it's that kind of landscaping. But this was kind of where I started and I didn't want to move it. But you could definitely, if you want to download it on the gallery, it's on the gallery. I'll leave the link in the description. But potentially you may want to place it in Oasis Springs. It maybe goes better there. But yeah, I like those kind of plants and I think they look the most natural when you have a lot of them kind of spread out. So I used some planter boxes up on that little sort of separate part of the shell. I understand why people are mad at Luce for building this shell, because you have this little extra like 2 by 3 tile box and it's not attached to the rest of the build and you think, what am I supposed to do with this? I think in her shell challenge, with her version of the challenge, her shell, she used it as kind of like an archway to the front door. I've made it the bathroom and then just kind of made a little covered walkway into the bathroom. Bit random to have to go outside to get to the bathroom, but I couldn't figure out what else to do with that bit. So I just put a little kind of like rooftop garden on it, which you can't really, I end up putting a ladder behind there so you can access it, but I don't think your sim would actually get up there because I think the planter boxes are in the way. They are not, I would say not real plants. They're not planted by the sim, they're from the build catalogue, so they don't need to be, watered or harvested, so you don't really need to go up there. But I thought the ladder just looked cute. As I said, I used 3 in total because I was so excited to have ladders. So if you want to move stuff around to make that little kind of rooftop bit accessible, you can, but there's actually, you'll see later on in the video, there is a rooftop kind of garden with a fire pit, a sofa, an outdoor bathtub, because for some reason I like to put bathtubs outdoors in all of my builds. I'm not quite sure why. Just think it's very luxurious, and I don't have, I think it's perfect patio stuff that has the hot tub. I only have the 20th birthday one, which has the kind of like covering on it, which doesn't look right. So an outdoor bathtub is what we went with. But you can see here I am building a little like outdoor pond, and I can't remember, there's definitely a video that I saw, and I'll try and link it down below. It was either Luce or I want to say it's Julia Builds, I think. That might be not her actual name. I think that's what she's called. She's really nice as well. So definitely a video I watched like a couple of weeks ago about making a pond and kind of like landscaping it and making it look natural. And I've never built a pond. Like I always do swimming pools. So I kind of thought, why not? Might as well try it, but different. So it was actually not that difficult. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but it's a bit time consuming to place all the rocks, but it's not particularly difficult. And the hardest part was honestly choosing what plants to use, because I didn't want to use like the same 3 plants over and over again, but I wanted them to look cohesive, if that makes sense. So I was trying to figure out which plants looked nice together, but wasn't just using like the same agave plant over and over again. So I did use some jungle adventure plants, and then I did use some kind of just like base game like grass just to try and bulk it out. I figured after some trial and error that the best way to make it look natural was to put the kind of like plain lower grass down in quite a few places and then fill in between with plants, because I think you maybe wouldn't have plants like everywhere. So I think having the kind of lower grass to fill in the spaces looks quite good. And then also the terrain paint as well makes it look more natural. And then I had initially wanted to do a bridge, and I kind of couldn't figure out how to do it. So I just put the flat wooden planks that you saw. And then it kind of just came to me that I could just put a bit of foundation there and raise it up, and actually it worked fine. So I don't know why I was having a mental block about that before. It actually wasn't that complicated in the end, but I thought it looked really cute. Again, I don't know if the house is really modern, and then you kind of have this little like pond outside of the front. I'm not sure that it technically all goes together, but I just kind of like let inspiration flow, and this is what came. So I'm sticking with it. I'm happy with it. I was going to do some sort of like modern water feature, but I felt like the last 2 builds that I've done have been quite like that, like very modern, like villas, like over water, or I've posted the first part of the Oasis Springs, like kind of luxury villa, and that's all very like modern pools. And I thought I wanted to do something a bit more like organic and natural looking, so we went with a little pond, something a bit different. I hope you like it. And then I actually remembered I was trying to figure out here what to do with the foundation, and I remembered about I think it's a debug option, the like transparent foundation, so it looks like a proper bridge. And at first it looked a bit weird, like you could see it looks blue underneath, and I'm like, that's not going to work, because I don't like it when it's obviously kind of glitching like that, or when it shouldn't look like that. But what I ended up doing was going down a level, and I didn't realise it would be this. I was trying to place the rocks from the ground level, and they kept jumping up onto the bridge, and I couldn't get it to stop doing that. Then when I realised I could just go down into the kind of basement level and place the rocks, you can see here it was actually super easy to fill in the spaces. It didn't look really good. So I'll definitely remember that for future, and it's a good tip if you're ever trying to do landscaping like underneath a bridge or underneath some sort of like platform. You can just go down into the basement level and place the rocks down there. I didn't think they'd show, but actually it totally works fine. So I had a few issues. You can see there's a little bit of a rock like peeking through the bridge, which doesn't look particularly realistic, so I do fix that. But yeah, it actually wasn't that difficult in the end. I thought this pond was going to be really challenging because I haven't done it before, but it's pretty kind of self-explanatory, I think. So if you want a more in-depth tutorial on that, I'm happy to do one. As I say, I will link the video that I watched down below. I can't remember who it was. It's really bad, but I will post a link in the description if you want to go and check it out. They did a really good job, a really nice build with a pond in it. So I'll share that. So you can see here I'm working on the rooftop. Now I do have to say, when I was filming this was like later on last night, I was filming this kind of like the last bits of the landscaping and everything. And I think my MacBook started to kind of freak out on me. So you can see it's not recording, it's only recording like a few frames. So it looks really stilted. I don't know why it started doing that. You can see like the start of the build and the end of the build is totally fine. And this bit in the middle is just really slow. And I think I record with OBS, and I think it was just getting a little bit overwhelmed. So I didn't want to take the footage out because I wanted you to see me doing the rooftop and everything, but it's very like jumpy, so sorry about that. I'm actually currently looking at deciding what specs I want for a gaming PC, which is very exciting. I've wanted a gaming PC for a long time. I've had this MacBook for about 8 years now, and I mean, it plays, you know, I can play with Sims, I can edit videos, it does what it needs to do, but it's definitely starting to struggle a little bit. So, I mean, like you can see here, obviously it was not recording. Like, the game wasn't slow, the game was fine. I think it just was struggling to record. So, I am currently looking into getting a gaming PC, so hopefully that will be quite soon. And then my quality of my videos and just generally it'll be easier for me to sort of record and things, because at the moment when I'm playing and recording, the computer definitely does not like it that much. And I've also got a new microphone coming, so hopefully that will be arriving tomorrow, I think. So hopefully for my next video, which should be up on Sunday, I'll have a nice new microphone for my voiceover, which will be very exciting. So I'm really keen to kind of, I know it's kind of investing money, but I'm really keen to try and make my videos as high quality as possible. I really enjoy making them, and I know that they're more enjoyable to watch if they're better quality. So I am doing my best to get them to where I want them to be for you guys. But anytime you have any suggestions or any feedback or whatever, please leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything you think I could be doing differently, anything that you like, or I'm really happy to take any feedback, and I want my channel to be as accessible, as enjoyable as I can make it. So please don't be hesitant to leave a comment or let me know your thoughts. I'm really happy to take feedback on board, because I think that's how we grow and how we improve. But so far I'm just enjoying making the videos. So I'm happy for now, but definitely going to try and improve my setup a little bit. So yeah, you could see there, as I said, I know the footage isn't great, but you could see I built that kind of rooftop area. So I had plants, the little outdoor seating area, the fire pit, the bath. And the bath I kind of put like the glass fence around it, so it's sort of enclosed, but it's still open. But I figured that'd be quite a cool spot to hang out. And then you can see I did the back garden area, so I've got a little seating area, a grill, and then I've also put the weather changing device in, which I never really use, but I thought it fits in that space, so why not? And then here, I'm finally re-downloaded the red shelf, which I used to have, and then I don't know if I got rid of it or something, and then I've never re-downloaded it again. So basically it just gives you like a lot of slots to place stuff, and it means that sometimes like the top of the fridge and things is not quite the right height, and you have to, things kind of float. So if you put the shelf on, it means that they kind of clip to the right height, and you get a lot more slots opened up, so it's really easy to place a lot of clutter. So like on any surface that you want to put things on, it's really handy, especially like on top of the fridge. So I put some kind of like clutter items in there. I think kitchens are probably the place that I spend the most time doing kind of clutter, because I think in real life that's maybe where you have the most stuff is in your kitchen. And then I actually put some shelves in the corner, and I was trying to place a plant. I think you'll see it. I was trying to place a plant on the shelf, and it kept jumping down onto the counter height. So I put the red shelf onto the actual shelves, and it means you've got more slots and it doesn't jump around. And then you could see before it was red, all you do is just, there's a red swatch and a transparent swatch. So you place the red swatch so that you can see where you're placing it, and then you just make it transparent and you can't see it and it doesn't affect the game. So it's such a good tool. I see a lot of people using it in their videos. But as you can see here, I couldn't get this plant to place right. It was either too far back, or when I tried to edge it forward, it would kind of edge forward and then it would just jump down onto the counter, which isn't what I wanted. So I placed the red shelf, I made it transparent, and you can see here I can place stuff without a problem. So yeah, if you've not, I'll leave a link to that down below as well. I mean, I think a lot of people already have it, but it's a really handy tool. And that, along with the tool mod, the benefit of that is that if you want to share things to the gallery, then the other person that downloads it doesn't need to have these mods installed. The items, as long as they place them with move objects, the items won't move. So it's not like it's actually modded or anything. People can still download it and play with it just fine. It just makes it easier for you as a builder. So I really like that, because it doesn't have a knock-on impact on the person that's going to download it from the gallery if you share your builds. So definitely recommend those two. So yeah, I'm just doing some final finishing touches, some decorations, putting some soap, some hand towels, putting some artwork on the walls. I'd like to do those kind of things last, once I've got the layout right, so I can see where there's any gaps, where I think I may need to put some more stuff. And just trying to get it to look a bit better. As I say, I do apologise that the footage is a little bit jumpy here. I don't know what happened with the recording. It just kind of freaked out on me a little bit last night. And I didn't realise until today when I was editing it that it hadn't quite recorded properly. So as I say, I'm working on the setup, so hopefully future videos will be improved, but you can still see the gist of what I'm doing, I suppose. Yeah, overall I'm really happy with how this came out. I think it's super cute. Thank you so much to Luce for the fun shell challenge. I really enjoyed doing it. We're just coming up on the screenshots, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off right here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe and do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!